So you're nearing retirement, maybe you're in your 50s or 60s, and you start to wonder, how do I make sure that I have enough to retire? And the more important question is, how can you make sure that your retirement savings are financially secure so you don't have to spend your days worrying about it? And that's why, in the next 10 minutes, I want to share my retirement-proof investment strategy. I will first share some common investment mistakes that I see people make so you can learn from them and avoid those mistakes. Then I will talk about 5 retirement-proof investment assets that you must have in order to secure your retirement. So at the end of the day, you can live a happy retirement without money worries. Let's get started.
Keep in mind that when it comes to retirement, one of the most important things is to start planning early enough. We probably don't think about our retirement in our 20s or 30s because it just seems so far away. Plus, we have more urgent financial goals like getting a place or starting a family. But guess what? If we don't treat retirement planning just as important as other financial goals, then we will never have enough to retire. For example, in our 20s, we want to look for a better job opportunity. And in our 30s, we might be looking for a place to live or how to maintain the family expense. In our 40s, we might need to focus on our children's education. And even in our 50s, we became the sandwich generation, where we need to help our parents and our kids might still need our help. And by the time we are in our 60s, time is no longer on our side and we might become someone else's burden. Therefore, the sooner you start saving, the better. If you start early, you can leverage compound interest and grow your savings until you retire. And I mentioned a lot of times, retirement is not the end of the journey, more like a transition in life. So the most effective way to prepare for it is to create a roadmap, a retirement financial plan. Otherwise, you might unexpectedly sabotage your own retirement by spending too much or too little. The next one is ignoring health costs. When we talk about sickness or chronic diseases, most of us don't want to deal with the painful thoughts or think that we could ever need medical help, so we avoid dealing with it. But according to research done by Fidelity, the average couple in retirement will spend around $285,000 on healthcare. You might think, yeah, the government will take care of me. It's true that we have a great healthcare system, but it's not perfect. Lots of things are not covered. For example, if you're sick, our healthcare system won't pay for your mortgage nor rent. Our healthcare system won't pay for the nutrition supplement, and certainly the healthcare system won't pay for our senior care home. So what's your contingency plan when you need extra healthcare? It's always better to have a medical savings plan 10 years early than one day too late. As long as you work, your tax depends on your income and the tax bracket you fall into, and that also applies to your retirement. Once you retire, your income will likely to shift, and it could be that you're in a different tax bracket all of a sudden. What's more, once you start withdrawing money from your RSP or pension, 100% will be paid out as regular income. This can also mess with your tax bracket and also with your government benefits. While it is a bit confusing, it's possible to foresee most of this upfront, and you can plan your taxes accordingly. If you need more information on this, I have a whole playlist where I go over the details of RSP, tax-free saving, and their benefits. You can click the button on the right corner to watch the playlist there. I'm sure you must heard the saying, don't put all the eggs in one basket. Especially for your retirement portfolio, you want to diversify. However, today, let's say you Google how to diversify your retirement portfolio, majority of the websites will only suggest, hey, instead of owning individual stocks or term deposit, just invest in different index funds, buy fixed income, and you'll be fine. And then they start to promote their funds or products. If those so-called gurus' advice are true, then the market recession back in 2008 or 2011 should not affect that many people's retirement life. Study shows that there are almost $2 trillion in RSP and pension funds back in Canada in 2007. And then during the global collapse in stocks, almost 300 to 400 billion was gone in less than a year. That means more than 20% of your retirement savings was gone and you don't have enough time to let it grow again. So instead of investing into a diversified stock portfolio, please start investing into different asset classes, which I will later share more about it. The choices you make now will definitely affect your retirement. And now that you know the common mistakes that people make, let's talk about how do you truly diversify your retirement portfolio. How do you make sure no matter the stock market or the real estate market collapse, you know your retirement portfolio is still safe? And I want to share 5 asset classes you must have in order to secure your retirement. The first asset I recommend you acquire for your retirement is cash. It sounds silly, but think about it. You cannot literally eat your house, or you cannot use your stocks to get groceries. You still need cash as a medium to pay for your bills. Real estate or stocks are a good place to hold your cash, but you need cash itself to purchase the thing that you want. A lot of people don't understand that because prior to retirement, we always aim for asset accumulation. But the nearer you get to retirement, the more you want to switch to cash flow accumulation. And that's because the long-term return on investment of most assets become less important in retirement. You need money now, not in 30 years. So make sure you have enough cash in your checking or savings account to cover your next 6 months of expense. Then the rest can invest into different asset classes. Then the next asset that is suitable for your retirement is what I call the paper asset, such as stocks, bonds, ETF, mutual funds, and many more. Things that looks good on paper, but is not that tangible. We need this asset class because of its liquidity and the appreciation. First, it should appreciate and are able to beat inflation. Plus, you can acquire and sell them pretty much anytime you want. It's much easier to exchange back to cash compared to the next 3 asset classes. Now you might wonder which paper asset or which stock portfolio exactly should you invest in. And that depends on your unique situation. And if you want help with this, it's best to talk to a financial advisor. Depending on the situation, I usually recommend have at least 30 to 50% of your total asset in a well-diversified investment portfolio. Now, the third asset class is the real estate. I know when it comes to real estate, we all like it because we can get the passive rental income and it has a steady appreciation. However, I have a total different perspective on this asset class. When it comes to real estate investing during retirement, don't aim too much on the rental income side. Why? Because there's too many factors affecting this cash flow. Maintenance, tax, mortgage payment, rentee turnover, and at the end, you don't get much left. Therefore, the main purpose of holding real estate during retirement is to increase your chances of getting money from the bank. And what do I mean by that? Think about it this way. During the market downfall, you cannot take your stocks or your YouTube channel to the bank and ask for a loan. It simply doesn't work that way. But if you own real estate, you increase your negotiating power and getting a loan is much easier. For example, you can use a home equity line of credit or refinance your house. You can then use the money to reinvest into your stocks or other asset classes. Any rental income you get is nice, but shouldn't be your main goal, so keep that in mind. Let's get to the next asset that will help you bulletproof your retirement income, and that is insurance. Insurance is literally pennies to dollars, and that's because contributions are usually very feasible, and if anything happens, you are covered. There's a variety of insurance to choose from, such as life insurance, medical insurance, sickness insurance, and disability insurance. In some cases, it might be a good idea to have 2 or several kinds of insurance. And I know that most people want to avoid this topic of insurance because it seems not very attractive. Many of us also think that bad things happen to others but not to ourselves, so we think that insurance is necessary. But the truth is, without insurance, things can get expensive. If someone of the family dies, for example, relatives have to deal with the hefty tax fees. By the way, I have a full video on the cost of death, you can watch it here. So having the right insurance definitely helps to protect yourself and the next generation. It helps in the case you get sick, injured, or disabled, or if anything happens to your house. And especially in retirement, it's a great asset to have. If you're unsure what kind of insurance you need, feel free to talk to an insurance advisor. And the last asset classes that help you to have a financially secure retirement is commodities, such as gold, silver, crude oil, and other precious things. Now, I'm not talking about the gold or silver ETF, those are still considered as paper asset. What I meant is the hard physical object that you want to put it in the deposit box or dig a hole in the backyard. The advantage of commodities is that their value is finite, therefore the price is semi-regulated. If the market goes down, your cash, paper assets, and real estate goes down too, but commodities keep their value. So in case of an emergency, you can sell off your commodities and secure your livelihood that way. But out of the 5 asset classes, commodities are the least liquidable, so I don't recommend this until you have acquired the previous 4 assets first. Alright, how do you like this video so far? I hope that this video made your retirement planning a bit clear. If you're getting any value out of this, make sure to press the like button and subscribe to my channel. And of course, if you're not sure where to begin your retirement planning, have a chat with me. You can find all the info in the description box below. I look forward to speaking with you soon. If not, then I will see you in my next video.